Hello everyone, just getting set up, making sure this looks okay, and that I'm facing the right way. So just give me 1 second here. Of course. Come on, computer. Yes, okay. Okay, and I believe you guys can hear me. I'm just gonna open my screen up so that I can, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Expand. That's okay. There we go, and mute on the computer. All right, so testing 1, 2, 3, and it looks like a weird angle, but it is facing the right way. I have my camera up a little bit higher this time, so that hopefully you guys can see the workspace a little bit better. I'm just gonna get adjusted here so that I make sure I'm in my screen. We are going to be using a few different stamp sets today to make a birthday card. Hi Joyce! Happy Saturday, hope it's a good one, full of craftiness. Today will be the first time I'm doing a video that's going to go on YouTube after, so with the intention of going on YouTube after, so there may be some adjustments here and there, but today I wanted to make a card kind of with as much Kraftin Kimmie supplies as I can, and I do, usually I have a list of all the things I'm going to use. I was running a little bit behind today, so after I'm done my Crafty Live, I will post a list of supplies I used so that if anyone wants to watch the replay and color along or craft along and they maybe miss something, it'll be on there. The stamp sets we're going to be using today are Birthday Bash, just for the accessories, so the little noisemaker, the little hats in the sets, and the little cupcake. We are also going to be using Puppy Power. Sorry, just in my notes so I make sure I say everything right here. Puppy Power, and this one's got those cute, adorable dogs that are totally supposed to be reminiscent of Kim's dogs, so since it's her birthday party celebration, I thought I would use that one. We are also going to be using the party banners, or birthday banners stencil. Now, I did something this afternoon just to make my life a little bit easier. You don't have to do this, but I cut mine in half. That way, I don't have to mask the ones I don't want to use. So I'm not going to be using the round ones today. I just want to use the triangular banners. Pull that out. Totally okay to cut your stencils, but if you don't want to, you can always just mask. If that's sacrilege to you. We are going to be using some Kraftin Kimmie inks. So I have Flirty Flamingo, Festive Fuchsia, and Berry Bold. Kind of doing a kind of an ombre look. Hi Mary Pat, hope you're having a good Saturday. I have Lavish Lilac, Whimsical Wisteria, and Alluring Amethyst. So we'll be doing a ink blending background, and then I'm going to do the light ones on the background, and then I'm going to work my way up to the darker colors for the banners. So that's at least my idea in my head. I did stamp all of my stamps already, just so that you guys aren't sitting there waiting 5 hours for me to stamp everything. I stamped all the puppies and the accessories just in Totally Taupe today. Again, usually I do like a pink or purples and stuff, but I just decided to go with a very neutral color. And I will try my utter best to try and keep my lids in the screen so you can see what colors I'm using. Thanks, Mary Pat. It's going with our challenge for pink and purple. I told Kim last night when I was just doing a final decision on what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm going to try and hit up all 4 challenges today with my card. So that way, if you decide you want to color along or you're just inspired by something I do, you can always enter it into the challenges. I also used my silhouette this morning, and I cut out a scallopy frame. Didn't punch out the holes yet, so I have to do that quickly, which shouldn't take long. I decided I'm going to stack these together and I'm going to ink them so that it matches whatever colors I want to use. I may do white, but I pulled out, hello Kathy, I didn't see you come in, sorry, sparkle texture paste, just to give us the sparkle for the challenge. And I may decide to squish some ink onto a non-porous surface and add some sparkle, what do I have here? You may have gotten this from Kim in the past, some sheer shimmer sparkle to make a little bit of a glittery background for us. So I think what I'll do is I will start with my background and then we'll work on their animals. That way it has time to dry. I haven't pulled out the cardstock yet I want to use either for the background, but these are just cut out. I cut out my little scallop frames and my little rectangle here out of Bristol vellum, not vellum, sorry, smooth surface Bristol. And this stuff likes our ink, so it blends pretty well on our panels. I'm going to move this mat out, so hopefully my black mat's not going to glare too much. And I'm going to just try and do it like a little light ombre look on my background here. So starting with a panel, I have 3. If I mess up, I have extras. Or I might stack those too. And I'm going to take our lightest colors. So I'm going to just take our Flirty Flamingo and our Lavish Lilac. Take some ink blending sponges. I have some new ones here because I always contaminate my light colors if I don't have any new ones. And hi Danielle, how are you? Hi Ellie. Hope everybody's having a great weekend and help celebrating our birthday party. My birthday's in February too, so I'm pretending it's my birthday party too. And I believe Heather's is, I believe, in as well. So we have a few birthdays with the Kraftin Kimmie team in February. So I'm going to start just doing an ink blend. I think I'm going to go... I'm just trying to decide which colors I want to do first. I think I'll do pink to purple. So, oh, I'm still on there? Okay. Of course, our lovely Facebook likes to be a little bit delayed from what I see on screen. So I'm going to start with my top, and I'm going to ink in a circle, but I'm going to also flick down, and I'll help blend it a little bit. So you'll see. I want the top to be darker, and it's going to blend down. And you may have to do a few layers to get it the color you like, but this is just to make this part a little bit more colorful. And I go off of here a little bit and then work my way down further. I am circling and also flicking down. So I kind of just want it to be a nice smooth transition from the pink to the purple. So I don't want it to be this dark edge on the where it's going to meet. So this paper is very smooth, so I find it does blend pretty nicely. I love my Nina for coloring on, but I don't find it blends very nicely for inks. So this is how I do things. I'm switching to my Lavish Lilac. I'm going to turn my paper over. You may want to wipe just that pink spot so you don't get contamination. I'm not super worried since this is our background anyway, but we're going to add extra color on top of it. But I'll just clean it a little bit so that try to be professional as best I can here. So what's everyone doing this weekend? Anybody getting crafty? Anybody doing some challenges? We have 1 week left for our main challenge, which was non-traditional Valentine colors and hearts and love. As you can see, I love hearts. So Valentine's Day things are usually my favorite. Aw, that's so sweet, Mary Pat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right now, my wish, I know you're not supposed to say it out loud. My wish is just to have more time to create. And for it not to be so dark when I get home, because it totally zaps my batteries. But it's starting to get lighter out, so that's always great. I not a big winter person, but I will have more time to create. I just have to get out of that mind spirit. So hope everybody else also has time to create and stuff. No, yeah, no worries. That was a long live you just did, Kim. So don't blame you for needing some food. So like I said, just kind of, I don't want to circle too far down, but I'm just going to add a little bit more ink from the Lavish Lilac and then start blending down. So anyone taking advantage of the sales, or we have that Crafty Joy 25 code you can use for 25% off in the store on anything, except for the sale items, of course, because they're already discounted. Sorry, this is just gonna take a few layers. And you do want to kind of start getting into the pink area that you made a little bit so that they blend together. But I'm not adding more ink down here, or it's going to be too dark. So I am going to go back up with the pink one more time. Who doesn't love a great sale, right, Mary Janet? Also, we need to make room in our store so that we can get new stuff. We have to help Kim out and get rid of some older products so that she can get more stuff in. I'm gonna, after I'm done my class here today, I'm gonna upload some videos onto Facebook of our previous ones. I'm a little nervous about that, but we have to because of Facebook's challenge. So there'll be some YouTube videos up tonight, hopefully, if I can figure this all out. First time for everything, but that's how we have to do things, and that's how we do things. I'm sure it's not that hard. And then after that, I'm gonna start getting my stuff prepped for the March release, which is super cute. Can't tell you more than that, but we need to make room so we can have all the cute products. As you see, I got my pink. I'm going to add maybe, like I said, a second layer of the purple. But I'm getting kind of an ombre look, which is what I want. And I just realized I didn't clean my map before I pulled in my pink. My purple is probably lighter than my pink even, so. Sorry, it's probably shaking the camera a little bit. Going down, like I said, I'm kind of flicking so that it's lighter at the end, just like how we color with our markers. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see. Now, I'm going to take our party banner stencil, and like I just said, if you missed the first part, I did cut mine. I'm just going to go pull in my biggest dog here. I just want to see how far up he's going to sit. Second here. I can probably do about 3 banners or so. Okay. Even if my banners go all the way down to the puppies, it's not the end of the world, but I thought I would leave a little space at the bottom so there's a bit of breathing room. Now for holding my stencils in place, I have a few different options I like. I actually use a gel plate most of the time. But mine is currently needing to be cleaned. Just like most things. I am going to have to do a bit of masking here. And I'm going to put my banners at a bit of an angle. I don't want them just being straight up and down. You can if you like. Hello, Michelle. We're just starting with our background. I'm going to do a lot of coloring today. But there are small images, so hopefully it won't take too long. But I also want to just enjoy what I'm creating, so I'm not going to worry about it. People have to get going. They're like, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to sit here and create with you guys. I'm going to pull in some just Post-it notes to just cover just this corner right here, since my stencil is a bit off at that angle. Maybe I can just stick it there. And since we're going to be starting at the top, I'm going to just hide these ones too. looks good. Now I'm going to pull in my Whimsical Wisteria. And like I said, I'm going to try and keep my lightest color inks, blending foam separate, so don't keep making more. So this might turn out more darker than I meant it to be, but that's okay. I'm just going to add a bit of Whimsical Wisteria to my little banner here. And we're kind of going for like a tone-on-tone look. A little bit more. It's kind of a medium tone color. And then I think what I'll do, yeah, it shouldn't take too long to dry, is I'm going to use my darkest purple to splatter some ink up here to make it look sparkly. I'm just going to grab, usually I have a laminated sheet. I'm just going to see if I can find it quickly. Oh, that'll work. Just want something non-porous for this technique, and because I have a lot of ink in my Alluring Amethyst, I think I should be able just to squish it down on this background here. Spray it with the shimmer spray. If this doesn't work, I might just go grab one of my dark purple re-inkers and use that instead. Maybe just add a bit of water to this too. Oh, that's the wrong bottle. It's gonna be hard to see in the video that it's all sparkly here, but I'm basically making my own sparkle paste or sparkle watercolory. I'm just adding it in. Might not be dark enough. Don't think I have the re-inker for this one, so I'll just add more. It's a very dark color, but once you add, of course, a medium to it, your re-inker is probably a better idea if you have that re-inker or a darker re-inker. And it's going to match our colors, and we don't have to like go out and buy all our colors, right? And I'm just playing, so if it doesn't turn out, that's fine. But it looks like it will. I'll show you up close once it's done. And then the other thing I didn't grab is my little heating tool that's not so hot. So one moment. I don't think you should use a hot gun on this because it's going to be a little too intense. But I have the Ranger Eat It tool, so. The best bet is probably just to let it dry naturally, but since this is alive, I can't do that. Just a little bit so I don't smear it. Where am I going to put that? It's not too hot. All right. Or my dirty floor that I just realized you can see. It needs a little bit of a vacuum. Okay, so then I'm going to go down to my next layer. And I'm just going to cover up this one so that I don't accidentally spray ink where I don't want it. And I think I'm going to rotate my stencil just a little bit. I'm just looking to see if it got sparkly, and it did. And I just want it kind of sparkly more in the banners, but that worked. And I'm going to put this at this angle. Just making sure I'm not touching the previous banner too much. And I'm going to make this one dark purple. I'm going to with my Alluring Amethyst. And I think what I'll do is I'm just going to grab one of my re-inkers that are purple. I don't even think you have to go really for your darkest color. So I have Whimsical Wisteria. Let's see. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate it, guys. Just going to add a, yeah, that'll be really intense. Almost like black. And I'm going to mix it again with the sparkly glitter that's over here. I can always add more if I feel like I need more. Yeah, just add a bit more sparkle. Because we can always use more, right? And did I add too much ink? Probably, but that's okay. I have lots of re-inker, so there we go. Should I be doing this in a splatter box? Probably. We're living on the edge today, guys. And I just went in the banners. I didn't want it in the background today. But you totally could just do the background with splatter. You can kind of see that the splatter's coming on there. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to be careful when I take it off that I don't smear all the dots I just put on there. You probably shouldn't be also heat setting your stencil. Thanks, Ellie. I appreciate it. That's not usually the case with me. But I'm hoping what we're going to get is just a nice glittery look. Worst case, if it doesn't do what I want it to do, it's just paper. It'll still be cute. It's funny, crafting's the only thing that I don't usually live on the edge with. Everything else in my world, sure. And yet I am the organized one at work, which is a little scary sometimes too. So that definitely gave us a lot more spots for the banner on the second one. Did go outside the banner a little bit, and that's okay. Oops. Well, there goes that magnet for now. Alright, I'm going to start pulling in the pink now. And I think I'll make my box pink too, since there's going to be a lot of purple on here by the look of it. So again, just put a post-it note wherever you don't want. Oh, and probably a good idea to not put the post-it note where the edge of ink just went on, so you don't pull in that purple. I've done that before. And you know, or even better, get a clean post-it note. But we're flying by the seat of our pants today, so I'm gonna go with it. So all those retired sets now, and I have to, which is okay. Like I said, it's all good. We need. You know, back in the day, I used to get so sad whenever I saw the retired sets. I'd be like, no, Kim, no. But I get it. I understand why now. It's just, she's got to make room. There's only so much room in the crafty cave. And actually, I'm just going to get a different brush for when we do the pink. So, hope you guys take advantage if you can. I'm going to do Festive Berry next. That's that one, right? Or Festive Fuchsia, sorry. And I'm going to grab my pink sponge here that I have. And after I said I'm only going to do one pink one, I might do two. It's kind of a pinky purple anyway, so it should blend really nicely on our background. Yeah, fair, Ellie, fair. Me too. The one thing I do after seeing these retired sales is I go and look through my baskets and I pull out the retired stamp sets so I don't accidentally use them. It's okay if you guys do, of course, but for us who are teaching, we don't want to use products that people can't have because then they get sad that they don't have them. So I'm going to make sure I do that too. Add it to my list. And do I have a brush that's I can use? No, I don't want to use that one. I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab a brush. Yeah, that one will work. So taking my Berry Bold, I'm just going to mix my glitter here. And just maybe a little bit of water too because it's a little dry. Okay. So I love learning new things. So I think if I was to do this again, I just make sure I have the re-anchors for all of the colors I have. It's something I gotta collect. I don't have all the colors of re-anchor yet. Just because this is very dilute still from adding the liquid to it. So it's not showing up as nicely as the re-anchor did. But I think it'll still work. Worst case, you can always fake it too. Drops. Ba-doop-ba-doo. No one will know, right? Shh. Alright. So I do like doing things in threes instead of, in odds, not instead of evens. Like I said, I want to keep room for my puppies to have a base, but maybe we'll do, in this case, maybe we'll do 4. I know that's not odds, but I feel like it does need one more thing of pink. This stencil is very easy to use. You can always do multicolored ones. You can always do like a rainbow blend would be cute. Oops, forgot I have sticky stuff from back in the day. I used to use pixie spray. Now I don't anymore. For that exact reason, I don't like sticky. I'm just keeping my stencil in place. So, all right, we're almost done this part. And then I am going to ink up my frame of our inks so that I can match our colors. Always cut out of cardstock or pattern paper, but I wanted to try and use, like I said, most of my Kraftin Kimmie stuff today in celebration. So I'm going to go to Berry Bold. I love the blending foams. They just make things work so fast. And again, because that one's dark, I am just going to go see what re-inker I have. Sorry. Hit that. Oh, I have Very Bold as a re-inker. That's perfect. I had a drop this time, not two. So again, when it's in its ink form, it's very, or when it's in the refill form, it's very, very concentrated. Yeah. Ooh, good point, Mary Pat. Might use it for I was going to use pink for my frame, but maybe because I have a lot of that purple. Or maybe I'll just smush all this ink in and see what it does. I got purple all over my brush. Alright. So you definitely need to add a bit of water. Even though it dilutes it, it does make it so that it is easier for it to flick on. And of course I'm hitting everywhere but where I want it. And a bigger brush is probably better. There we go. And yes, I'm going to have glitter spots everywhere, but this is my crafty den. If it's not covered in glitter, I don't know what I'm doing down here then. Right? Glitter and pieces of paper everywhere. This everywhere. Alright, let's see what our tone on tone look's gonna look like. Okay, you gotta make sure you clean your stuff. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. We're gonna have to let this dry for you to really see the sparkle, but it's cool. It definitely made it a bit sparkly. I can see it in the light if I tip it, so yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, let's try what Mary Pat said. Since we're just going by the seat of our pants today, I want to try it. So, this isn't watercolor paper, but I already cut it out, so I'm going to use this frame. This is my top frame. I'm just going to quickly poke out the dots. And I cut this out with my silhouette earlier, so I know you guys probably don't have this frame, but you know, you can use any frame you have at home. Thanks, Mary Pat. I appreciate it. So anyone going to take part in the challenges? As a reminder, the challenges are pink and purple. Make it sparkle. So far I got both of those. Kraftin Kimmie product I haven't used yet. I will get to that in a moment. I guess technically I don't know if I'd use the re-inkers this way, so maybe that would work too. My hands are just covered in purple and pink now, so I'm covered too. Oh, you have already. Ellie, you're so fast. Great. I'll have to go and look and see and give you lots of love on your product, on your projects. All right, since we got a lot of ink on here, I don't know how this might turn into a hot mess, but I'm gonna try it. Normally I would just smush it in, but well, pink and purple, they're not gonna. Don't think they're gonna turn into mud. Now add more of the sparkle. Make it really wet on here. Yeah, and this is not watercolor paper, so Mary Pat's probably right. You probably should use some watercolor paper. But yeah, let's try it. I'm just gonna dip it in here, smush it around. Might as well use the ink that I have on my mat. And lots of times I go, and then all of a sudden it dries and I go, ooh, that's beautiful. So it's going to be probably more purple than pink, I'm thinking, because I have a lot of purple on here, but that's okay. Pink. This paper, because it's so smooth, it doesn't necessarily absorb as much as watercolor paper would. But if I don't like it, I can wait till it dries and I can always add more ink to it. I'll just show you what that looks like right now. And it's going to pool in the corners and such, but that's okay. I'm okay if there's a bit of white too on it, just because our background has pink and purple. So I'm going to put this aside to let it dry, and we will see what it looks like once it's dry. Thanks for the idea, Mary Pat. Just going to wipe down my fingers. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we'll get to coloring. Stencil out. I'll wipe that down after. And because our inks are alcohol based, they're not like watercolor or water based. You do want to use some alcohol or some hand sanitizer to clean it off. I know you girls already know, but for anybody who might be new. Okay, so I don't want to bore you guys by stamping all the images and taking forever, so I already stamped all my images. Go through them, I'll pull in. Right now, I did do totally taupe because I like no line looks. Yeah, it'll be cool to see how it turns out, Mary Pat. Thank you for the idea. We're always willing to do, you know, let's see if this will work. Doesn't work, that's fine, it's paper. But I think it will. All right. So I have a whole bunch of the puppies from notes are over here. Puppy Power, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm right. It doesn't mean we're going to use them all, but I usually will stamp out more than... Thanks, Danielle. I will use probably... I always stamp out more than one just in case I accidentally make a mistake. But what I was thinking was, be cute to use... Just pull in the stamp set. The accessories from Birthday Bash have these cute little party hats. We have cupcakes. We have a noisemaker. So just to make my little scene, I thought I would color up a few of those too, and we can put them all together on our little scene. So pulling in my markers, I might zoom in and angle my camera a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I always find this part the hardest when I'm showing you guys live videos of showing you how I'm coloring things. One of these days it'll click. I pulled in a few neutrals, a few of the pinks and purples that'll match my, you're welcome, Mary Pat. A few of my neutrals and some pinks and purples to match my background. And I'm just going to start with I think I'm going to color my dogs in the neutrals first, and then I'll color my accessories and the colors to match my background. I'm just going to zoom in my camera a little bit. We'll see if we can get this to work today. I went to the Apple store the other night because my mom bought me an iPencil for my iPad. And the first thing I asked when I went in there was, do you guys have cameras, or not cameras, remotes to zoom in and out for lives? Because we all struggle with it so much. I wish there was a remote that you could just that or play and pause too. Oh, this is a Sizzix sticky mat. So it just has a light stick to it. It's repositionable. And I just do that so that I don't sit there with my fingers trying to hold the image while I'm coloring. Because I stamp my images before I color. You can always color and then cut it out with your machines, but I found that I wasn't very good at that. So this is how I do it. So I'm going to start with this little puppy up here. And I'm just going to see where my marker lid's going to go. We're going to start with E50. And I'm going to do a base like I would for skin. Now, I have to decide where my... I'm going to put my sun where my marker is. So, where my marker lid is, I'm just going to make sure I'm still on... Nope, of course I'm not on screen still. So I'm going to move this down. Just waiting for my laptop to catch up here. We're going to pretend that's my sun. So, anywhere, obviously, where the sun's touching is where my highlights are. And anywhere opposite of it is where my shadows are. For this puppy, I'm just going to use my E50. You can always use it to map out your shadows, but I'm going to just come in and color the whole thing E50 here. I just like putting a base down because this paper likes to absorb a lot of ink. I'm using Nina 130-pound cardstock for my inking, for my stamps, I mean. And this one definitely looks like Minnie, this stamp. So I'm pretty sure that was what the intention was when she designed it. Minnie's got lots of fur, so she's a nice cream complexion. So my E50 is my lightest. And now I'm going to jump to my darkest, which is going to be E11. Oh, yeah, I guess both of them. They're basically the same color, aren't they, Kim? All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just always thought, you know, you put your sun where put your marker where your sun is. It's just good idea. I'm going to come obviously the opposite of that. So down in this corner here, I'm going to add a little bit, and I'm just doing little tiny strokes. And it's going to look really orange right now. And that's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of shading around here and up. And I always put a little bit in the ear too. Even though my son probably would be touching it, I'm going to pretend it's not. I'm going to start with this section, then I'll go to that section. Just so you can see the difference. Going down my list, I'm now going to hit my E53. And that one dry? Yeah, of course it is. This one dry. Oh, that one's worse. Okay. I'm going to try my E53. I'm sorry, this was a child marker because it's one of my oldest markers. And I'm going to start blending that out. Like I said, it's going to look kind of orangey because everything's so very light right now. But as we blend, it'll look more like a beige color, which is what I was going for. And then I'm going back in with my E50. And now I'll blend over the whole thing again. You can see kind of the difference between the colors. Yeah, I really like Kim's. I'm not, no offense, Kim, I'm not always the biggest fan of chihuahuas, but long-haired chihuahuas, they're nice. I like long-haired chihuahuas. And I've had some really nice chihuahuas in the clinic lately, so it's starting to warm up to me. I almost adopted a dog yesterday, but told myself, no, I can't right now. I'm just not. I have to be responsible. And right now is not the time for me to have another dog. But it was very hard. And also, I don't know if he actually was adoptable. Or if the owner's going to come back and claim him. But, yeah. Anyway, that was E11 again. Going back to my E53. I went a little higher on this side, which wasn't intentional, but we're going to just blend that out. Make sure I leave lots of room for my E50. I like to do 2 layers when I'm coloring fur. And depending on how fuzzy I want them, I may go in and add some fur texture after. But because this image already has the fur on the outside, I think we'll just keep them a little bit smoother. Oops, that's E53. Yeah, yours are, they seem very sweet, Kim. So that's why I like them. Yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, if they're being treated like dogs or if they're being treated like purses. That's, no offense to those people who do treat their doggies like that, but I think those dogs are the ones that act up. So, ones that go on the floor and they actually walk around and interact with lots of things, they're the ones who tend to be better behaved. Alright, so that's the top part of mine. I'm not sure what I want to do in the middle yet, so I'll go back to that. I'm going to come down to his body. Now his little leg is sitting in front of his belly. So what I tend to do with little legs is, first off, I'll go with the bum end, because we know that's opposite of the sun. And then I'm going to add little strokes up from the leg and make sure that's dark there. And I'll come back to the belly last. So I might have to add more shading to the belly. Opposite side of the leg. I'll move my hand in a second so you can see where I am. See? And that's why yours are good, Kim. It's okay to carry them around a little bit, but they shouldn't be carried around all the time. I see some that are carried around all the time and go, uh-oh. So, alright. So I just left my shading there so you can kind of see where I shaded. That was with my darkest, and then go to my medium. And with little legs, these are so tiny, I'm not going to sit there, and if it's a bigger image, I might sit there and like really shade it in. I'm just going to keep a light highlight right on the ends of my legs there. And that's because that's facing the sun. This leg would be turned in a little bit, so that's why I'm making that darker there. And obviously his head would be casting a shadow on his body. But you're just leaving little rooms for highlights. These images are so small and fast to color up, you don't have to get too detailed on them. And then I just go in with my E50 and blend it out. Now that belly would be covered, and I didn't, like I made it a highlight there. I'm actually going to go in with my E11 again. And it would be just really dark in here, so I'm just going to add a little bit in there. And then come around to his tail. Opposite side of the light. Computer always makes it look way darker on screen than it is in person. But then I go and watch it back on my phone and I'm like, it doesn't look that bad. So sometimes it's hard to look at my images after I've colored them on the screen when I'm doing it live. So then back to E50 and blend out what I just did. And I kind of just go back and forth until I like it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this little guy. Alright, I think what I'll do for his little face is I think I'm just going to color it all in E50. And because of his mouth, what I'm going to do is, after I'm done coloring all my little puppies, I'm going to come in and draw in their faces, either with a gel pen, or I tend to use my Copics, just because I've gotten used to fine lines. I do want to do the inside of his ears, and since I pulled in pretty neon pinks, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to pull in I like to use for the inside of the ears, R01. Just make them a little pink. It's a neutrally pink, so it tends to work well. It's almost like a peach color. And I'm just going in the insides of the ears. Alright, one done. Well, mostly done. Again, just gotta draw in his face after, but I like to kind of have all my images drawn out or colored first to make sure I know what I'm happy with. Alright, so I'm gonna go to this guy. I don't want him to look exactly the same as this one since they're gonna be on the same card. So I'm gonna make him darker, and I may do him in maybe an orangier brown. Just make sure that, like, I mean, you don't want them to look exactly the same or they're going to all blend together. So I'm going to choose my E30s for him. But it's just the same process. We're just going to do the same thing. Put our marker where we want our sun. Start at the bottom, away from the sun. And I'm just pulling my E31 up and over. And this E31 has almost a greenish tone to it, I find. So Sometimes I avoid it, but in this case, I think it'll work well. And I'm just placing where I want my shadows. I'm going to take my E35. And I'm going to come in. And this is my darkest color, so since he's really fuzzy, I'm going to try and make him a little fuzzy. I'm just, like I said, doing little tiny strokes instead of one smooth blend. I don't even worry if it goes over the eyes. If you're worried about that because your color's darker, you may want to draw them in first. But I usually know where they are. And E33. No problem, Ellie. Thanks for joining me for a little bit there. So I'm at E31. Just pulling out the strokes a little further. And left a lot of room for my E31 so that it's the lightest. And E31 I might come back at the opposite way and then stroke up. Don't know why I do that. Sometimes it blends better. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. There. Now, because of, I'm going to put maybe a darker brown down here. Just, if I did all E31, I think it would just be not what I want. So I'm going to pull in an E23, use E33 and E35, and then add in E23 on it. He's going to be kind of a patchy looking dog. So instead of E31, I'm going to E33 for my lightest, which is dark. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can make them all one color. And I'm just going to the bottom of the legs, adding up. Kind of planning my shadows here. Tail, same thing. Gotta be a little bit careful when you're doing no lines that you're still able to see your shapes. So feel like you're losing it, you may want to do it in lines. I just like no lines. Alright, and then I'm going to my darkest, which is my E23. And just exactly where I just colored, I'm going to add that. But a lot less, just because I'm just using this as my shadows. And I might lose it a little bit, but I'll show you a secret after if I do. E33, E35 first. My E33, I don't know if I filled it wrong one time, but it tends to be a little darker than I normally think it's going to be. So I'm just going to only add a little bit because it's actually blending with the E23 like as one color. And then I'm going to go to my E31. I know I was going to go to E33, but just looking at it, I'm losing my shapes here. So blend that down. If I lose it, I can always add it in after with my marker. I'm coloring them as shapes right now, and I'm going to add the detail, like I said, in with my gel pen. So right now it's going to look really weird. And I might even, because it's looking weird, I might just add the face in once it's dry, so you guys can see what it looks like. Alright, and then for my dark dog, I'm going to do E25, E57, E79. But we're going to color him like that, so it's easy. I'm actually going to put in my E23 too. So E23 is my lightest, which is right here. Stroking out from the bottom and the furthest away from my pen. Up in the ear a little bit. And the other problem I had where just a few seconds ago was I should have just gone shape by shape instead of doing the whole thing at once. But that's okay, I can fix it. Gotta be really careful with your E79, it's very dark, so I'm just adding just the tiniest amount. But I do want it because I want it to look a little darker. Add a little bit in the ear on either side. Okay, and then E25. Blend up. This could be more of a reddish tone. Now once I'm done coloring these guys, I'm going to put them on my card. And to see if I need any more doggies or if I'm good. I think I'll be good. Don't want to be here all day with you guys. I mean, I love coloring, don't get me wrong. I just don't want you guys having to spend all day here. E57, which seems like it would be light or darker than the other two, but it's not. It's got quite a lighter base, so. And like I said, if you're worried about the colors being too dark for you, you do lighter colors, or you just do two. Right now I don't have his eyes anymore, but like I said, I'm going to add them in. So you do have to be a little bit confident in knowing where your image lies. I can still barely see them there, so I'll be able to add them in. I'm going to come to his tail with the E23, which is our lightest. And I'll just do the tail first. And just the tiniest amount of E79. Oops, I have to put my cap there for you. I always try and rush these things because when I'm making cards, this usually takes me a long time. But I'll try and tell myself not to do that for you guys. We do have Delisa's class, and I still got an hour, I believe. So, but we do want to look at our background too. I might leave. I'm going to color this in with E50. It'll be like a. He looks different just because it got the brown on him, so I feel okay just coming in with my E50 and giving him a little bit of beige in the middle. A little bit on his body, but I think I'll color his legs in with the darker color too. Then just coming in, adding the shading around the leg, on the leg. My E23. Never know what to talk to you guys about when I'm coloring, so I know it sounds kind of repetitive with me telling you what colors I'm using, but something I'm trying to work on is what would you like me to talk about? I also tried to explain my process because I know not everyone's comfortable with no lines. Sometimes I'm not either. It just takes practice though, and I like the look of it. It's not for everybody. Just blending up. And I do add his little paws in after if I feel like I lost them, which I did a little bit. This little guy needs some more shading for sure. So I'm going to come in with my E23. I'm going to darken up my edges here. It's just looking a little too samey colored. Over blended. Tail. Dark back here because of his E33 again. I guess because my E23 and my E33 are so close together that's why they're blending like that a little bit more than I like. But as I said, once you add a space in, it doesn't actually matter too much either. You can get an ugly stage sometimes when you're coloring and judge it, and you're like, don't judge it till it's finished. So, very bad for that sometimes. And then I look at the end process and go, what was I worried about? So, we all do that, I bet. E31. I feel like I need a little bit of shading under his chin here, on the top one. So I'll just add the E31. Like that. And a little bit on his body. Come back in with my E50 on that to blend it out a bit. And in a moment, once it dries, I will add the faces in. And the details. So back in with my R01 to add the ear. Okay, I do have to let it dry before I can add the face in my Copics, but I can come back to this guy. And I think I'm going to take E35 for my details. Again, you could always use a gel pen, marker, or a fine liner, something like that if you want. I do usually add a little bit of eyebrows to my characters. I don't know why, I just always have. It just adds a little character. I could come in with his little nose. And I'm just drawing the artist's lines here. You want, you could always just add a little bit of hair into the ears. If you wanted them a little bit fuzzy, you might want to come back down to the bottom there and just add a bit around the face, a little bit on his bum. But I'm basically adding whatever lines I want to add in when I do this. So, there. He's done. I'm going to call him done. I sometimes add white gel pen to their eyes too, but I think I'll leave him. For this guy, I'm going to have to use a really dark marker, so I'll go back to my E79. And as always, I always take off both my lids as best as I can remember. You can pull in your stamp set if you're not sure where your eyes are. So I'll pull that in a little bit. See if you guys can see. There he is. And the artist kept them pretty easy to draw in, so I'm just going to drop. And drop. He's got to have little eyebrows. Don't have to do them. And then his little nose, I can see because it's lightly colored, or lightly still lined there. And it's looking a little bit flat in some areas, so I'll come in with the darkest color and just add a little bit of strokes on the side. I do feel like he needs some more under his chin, but I'll have to use a lighter color for that. And then add on the little toes again. And just a little bit around his tail. And I'm going to take my E31. Maybe I'll do E33. No. Change my mind. E31. And just add in a few more strokes up here. I like it's blending in with the one underneath too much, so that looks a little better. No worries, Mary Beth. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. For my little guy underneath, I'm going to start with my E35. I may have to go darker to draw in his stuff. Normally I don't. I usually go with my darkest color that I've used, but we'll see what happens here. And his eyes, when I look at the stamp on the side here, are closed. So I'm just making little C shapes. And again, I put little eyebrows on my characters. So just draw a little eyebrow. His little nose. And he's just got a little smile. He's got a little chin right now. That's okay. He's just a little chunkier guy, that's all. And I have to decide, do I like it or do I want it darker? I think I'll just keep him the way he is. Well, I did go a lot darker on the others. Alright, I'm pulling E57. Just so he matches the other two better. That's better. I like that better. His little toes. Put them back in. A little bit of hair on his tail. A little bit of his ears too. So the shapes are defined a bit better. Okay, he's cute. Why are you so... Oh, sorry. Oh, well, I'm probably boring you too, Kim. I always find watching people color. It's not boring, it's just very soothing, I guess. Alright, I'm going to call my puppies done. And I'm going to work on some accessories. So these should be pretty quick. I just thinking I'm going to put a little party hat on him. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. I'm going to color a little noise maker. And a little party hat on him. He can't have a party hat because he's covered his head. A few cupcakes. Yeah. I think that'll be good. Yeah, I don't blame you, Kim. Yeah, I get it. I was in a very foul mood on Thursday. Probably the foulest mood I've been in a while at work. And the girls were kind of surprised. I said, sorry. It's been a week. So... for my cupcake base, I might as well use some colors I already have out. So I tend to use E53 and E50 for vanilla cupcakes. They are puppies, so I'm not going to color anybody chocolate. No chocolate allowed with my puppies. Ever. So, they can have cupcakes, though. They're made out of dog food, we'll say. Too many chocolate puppies in my lifetime, so. Alright. If anyone you didn't know, I'm a vet tech, so. I might have to move. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to angle this so you can see what I'm doing because this is so small. I'm not going to sit there and do too many layers on this. I'm just going to add my colors in. So my cupcake is right here. You can see some cupcake underneath my frosting, so I'm just going to add that in. Just quickly with my E50. Put this one atop too. I might as well color both at the same time. Make things faster. And I'm just going to, just the tiniest bit of shading. You don't have to. Just leave E50 and that'd be fine too. But with E53 and the marker is covering it. So just coming to the left side of my cupcake and adding just a little bit underneath the frosting. And they'll blend out. And I forgot this one's my dry marker. Let's throw that over there so I don't keep grabbing it. There we go. I have to replace some of my nibs on my markers too. They are ancient. I've had them for a long, long time now. So it's about time that they all get their yearly filling and baths and clean them up and change the marker nibs when I can. When I can find them. That's that saying. For my cupcake, I want a pink cupcake, I decided. Just gonna pull out 3 markers. I start with another old marker of mine. That's why it's Chow. So it's RVO2. And I'm just gonna come to the bottom layer. And we're going to make them ombre too. So I'm just going to color this whole thing with RVO2. And the top's going to be lightest and the bottom's going to be darkest. I don't care that there's sprinkles on there. I will add them in after. Okay. And then, oh, Danielle, you're so nice. I feel sad I missed your live the other night and I had to go back and catch it. I don't get to watch everybody's videos anymore. That's okay. Work's important. Some days I'm just like, you're taking me away from my coloring. So I did add, actually, you know what? I'm just going to color this whole middle section RV06. Because like I said, I'm going to do an ombre cupcake and there's not a lot of room to add a lot of layers. This one's going to be pretty neon, this cupcake. RV09, and that one's going to go on the bottom layer. There. I will add in my little sprinkles after, once that dries, because that is, I find my RV09 is very saturated, and it will definitely leak through if I don't leave it be. For the wrappers, I'm going to do some purples. And I'm going to come down and do my purple layer on my cupcake down here too while I'm at it. So I'm just going to color this whole thing in with V12. And I'm going to do the same thing down here at this cupcake. I may want to add it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not quite what I was going for with my cupcake, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm going to take V15 and I'm going to come to the bottom of this cupcake and I'm just going to add it to the bottom and the side of the wrapper. I'm going to do what I was going to do on the first cupcake and just add this to the bottom, add this to more on the top, but I still want a little bit of the brighter purple. There. It's more of what I wanted to do. And then my darkest is VO9. Same thing, just coming to the bottom of my cupcake. And the side. A little bit more on here. It's okay, they don't have to match. And then I'm going to go down to my V15 and blend that out. Leaving lots of room for my lightest color. And then back to my V12. Blend over everything on the purples. And I'm going to take caution in the wind, and probably a bad idea, but I'm going to come in with my darkest color and add the stripes in on this cupcake layer. Now, Yeah, I do need to go back and watch some replays. You're right, Danielle. I just like chatting with you guys too. I miss that. How have you been? How has everybody been, I guess? How have you been? Hope everything's going well with you. This is quite the neon colors that I chose. Not usually my color palette. That's okay. I think it'll go well with our background. And I know I kind of lost what I was saying here, but I'm just blending all three colors on that bottom cupcake, and then taking my darkest and adding my stripes in on that one. Which I'm lucky out, I think. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself by saying that. There. I like that cupcake better than that one. I could grab another cupcake. I do have one more, but I think I'll just leave it. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to take a really dark color, RV69. And I'm just going to add in my sprinkles. So I'm just dabbing the color in. And that should go over everybody's color. Those be little purple sparkles. Cake. On that one. And I'm not going to do sparkles on that one. Okay, noisemaker. Where do I want to do the noisemaker color in? Let's do VO4. So I'm going to start with V12. And if you don't know what a noisemaker is, I don't know if that's what it's actually called. I think we looked it up one time and we found out it was called this. It's this little thing here. I'm going to move my hand out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. This little thing where you blow on it and it unravels and makes noise. I'm going to try and avoid my polka dots on this one for now, but I'm just going to color in between the polka dots. If I color into a polka dot, it's not the end of the world. Once my marker dries, I can add the color over top of it because I'm going with my lightest color. But I'm pretty good about, not always, but trying to avoid those. Going with VO4. I'm just going to start adding a little bit of shading on the underside of my color, of my noisemaker. Just add a little bit of shading. Again, it is a very fine line, so I can understand if you're like, oh, that's a little scary. I do find smaller images are a little scary, and now I'm going over my, I went over my polka dots this time, but that's fine. And I'm just trying to bring out the shading a little bit more on that. Blend it up. Put my hand out of the way so you can see. Yeah, me too, Danielle. It's beautiful out today here in Sherwood Park, so I'm fortunate, but we were minus 30, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but minus 32 the other day, and I just thought, I'm so sick of this. Winter can go away now, please. I'm going to take my VO9, and I'm going to color in my polka dots. This one's very dark, but I kind of want to cover all the places I accidentally colored on. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to here with RVO6, which is super bright. There. And then come back in with RVO2 and just shade up. There. So done that one. Alright, party hat time, and then we're almost done here, guys. You can look at our background that we made. I made that very purple, so I'll make one of these hats very pink. RVO2 again, and like I said, just going to go over all the polka dots this time. So I will draw them in with the purple. So color that one pink, and I will color opposite spots on this one with the lightest purple. Take my VO4 and I'm going to add that up on the other side of my purple hat here. I'm going to add B12 again on this side, just to give it some shading. That didn't work very well, so we are going to choose B15. And I'm going to go over where I colored on the VO4 and up, just because I just want some shading on that hat. Go back to my B12, blend out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pink to the top of this one. And I'm just doing little strokes with my RVO2. And I take my darkest color that I want to take, which will be RVO9, and I just add a little bit in the middle, just to make sure my shape's there, but I want to keep the outside lighter. Going to go in with VO9 on the party hat. Which is going to look very dark. Maybe I should have done a different color, but I did this color, so it's going to look almost black, but that's okay. And we'll just add a lot of purple on the top one here. B15. I don't like how this looks right now, so I'm going to go back in with my RVO2 and blend it out a little bit. Yeah. Not sure I'm happy with this part, but that's fine. Come back in with my dark color on my hat because I need some more shading to the opposite side. And maybe just underneath the stripe there. There we go. Makes them look a little bit better. Going in with B15 and up. And this one definitely needs some shading too, so I guess I'll use our VO6. And I'm going to be careful because I added my dark color already. There. Oh, guys are so nice. Thank you. Okay. I want to add a little bit of sparkle to my hats and my cupcakes. So what I'm going to do is, what do I want to use? I think I'm just going to use a glitter pen. I have my old Spectrum Noir glitter pen. I could always take a paintbrush and pour out some of that glitter spray that I used on the background. But since I have this, I might as well use it. I'm just going to add glitter to everything, because everything's better with glitter. This pen's getting kind of old, so just get as much glitter as I can from it. Then we're going to look at the background we made per Mary Pat's recommendation. Okay, so I'm going to pull these guys out. Hopefully I have enough different things here for my background. I could always color more if I need to, but we have half an hour until the next class, so I believe. So I'm going to start planning my card. So I'm going to put him in the middle. I want this guy to be behind him a little bit. So I'm going to put a pop dot behind him so that he's forward from the other puppy. And this is the fun part, just assembling. Oh, just realized I'm on camera again. I'm going to glue this guy down. I'm going to just a tiny bit of glue to the back of my pop dots, just so that if I make a mistake, I can move them. So I'm covering up his tail that I did, but that's fine. Just want them to be a group of puppies. This cupcake's going to go over here. I'm going to tuck it under behind my other puppy group. As long as we stay in our frame, it should be fine. So I could go here. He has a cupcake. Oop, gotta push it a little bit. Oh well, it's in front of the puppy. That's okay. Little party hat. And this one I'm going to put on him. Now, in a perfect world, I probably... Oh, I need a pop-up dot for the back of this hat actually stays. I'm just going to cut one in quarters. Oh, where'd it go? Oh no. Okay. Just attached my shirt. Good thing this is my crafting shirt. Doesn't matter if I get glue on it. It's also glue that will dry clear, so it's not the end of the world. Because I had glue back here, it's not going to stick very well. There. Just because I want that to line up with his head. Okay, and our noisemaker is going to sit, yeah, right in between the two. But then I didn't make another puppy. I don't think we would have been able to fit it. Alright, so we have a little scene made. The nice thing about it is they all coordinate, so don't have to worry about and coordinate with our color scheme we have. Hopefully our little frame's all dried up, so I'm just going to go grab that. So I add a sentiment. And for the most part. Now, is it glittery enough or do I need to add more glitter? It's subtly glittery, but I think it'll do well. That looks cute. I'm just going to glue them to the white ones I already made so that I have a little bit of a frame. Now, in a perfect world, I probably should color these all the same color so that, but it's okay if it's white. It's behind the image anyway. Thanks, I just made it with my silhouette this morning. So I'm doing things now, I think. I love dyes, don't get me wrong, I love dyes and stuff, but can't afford them all. I can make frames with my silhouette, then I'm going to do it this way. I saw your cute postage frame on one of your cards recently, but I think that was the one you did the other day. And I was like, I wonder if I can make one. I haven't tried yet, though. Sorry, this is something I should have done before we started our live, but I ran out of time. And now I've got lots of white confetti I could put on my card. Not going to, but... Okay. And I think I'll do our sentiment in the pink so that we have a little bit more pink on our cards since the frame turned more purple. This is why I have little pieces of paper everywhere. I used to have a little cup I put all the paper in, and that worked really well until I spilt it. And it's just been chaos ever since on my floor, so... That's why it hides in the basement, so no one can see but me. Alright, so when I'm lining this up, I gotta make sure I'm lining it up the exact same way. But they should match. I'm just gonna add quick glue to the back of it. Oh. I know. I get it, Danielle, but I don't like fussy cutting, as you know. So is that or masking everything, which I also don't like doing. So this works out well. I cut out all my images with my silhouette. So for me, it's been a good investment for me, but I think it can be quite a headache for some people. So it's got a steep learning curve. I'm still learning things on it to this day, but I do enjoy it. But we all have our things that we enjoy with crafting. And my headaches are cutting things, so if it helps me cut things without having to sit there and not swear at the machine, sure. Sure, I don't swear at my machines. Then the better. So I just need to fiddle with my frame a little bit, just to make sure I'm lining it up properly. As best I can. Not always the best at this either. And sometimes I put it on the wrong side. I'm also okay if there's like a little bit of a difference between there. Alright, now I'm going to figure out, is this the back or the front? Front, okay. And I just cut out my frames for the behind my frame I decorated with, I just realized it's not very equal, either side either, out of just scrap white paper because I have lots of it, so might as well use my scraps. Make sure this fits in there. Oh, well, when I put it behind. Alright, so we just need a sentiment and a card base. Make life easier, I think I am just going to use some cardstock for that. Normally I'll ink up my pattern paper, or sorry, my Bristol Smooth with some of my ink, let it dry, and then heat emboss in white. But given I don't want to run into the next class, and we're almost done, I'm just going to figure out with my cardstock which one I like the best. Go from there. So I have this paper, which has purpley pink tones to it, which I like. I'm going to do dark purple. Some spellbinders. Don't think I like the plum. Or I have, yeah, no, I already have the color. What do you guys think? Should I do the dark purple or the magenta? Like berry one. So this is what it is with the dark purple. This is what it's like with the magenta. And that's going to be my card base and my sentiment. Oops. Forgot that I'm zoomed in too. Let's see if I can zoom back out. Honestly, I'm going to design a remote for us. Except I don't know how. Maybe if I keep bringing it up to Apple Store every 5 minutes, they'll design something. Make this easier. This isn't helping you have glue on your fingers. Good enough. Good enough. Magenta? I was thinking that too, Danielle. Okay, so that'll be my quick card base and my sentiment strip. So I'm just going to pull in our Power Puppy one, Puppy Power. And I like It's Your Birthday, Let's Patti for this. So I'm going to just cut out a strip. And then I'll add my card base. Oh, I have one already. Perfect. Be right back. I'm just going to fold this into an A4 card. Okay. This will go in the middle. Let's go on the outside of it. Try and get in the middle as best I can. Smart thing would be, if I had done my frame a little bit better, is I would have been able to pop this in place, but we'll just eyeball it. If it's not perfectly straight, then it's typical Patti card. So, I'm going to add this to the middle of my card base. With my eyeballs. Decide where do I want my frame, that way or this way? This way. Cupcake. I'm going to just cut off the tiniest piece of this cupcake, which hopefully I don't massacre my card. Being left-handed sucks sometimes. There. This could be hidden behind the frame anyway, so let's go see what I did there. Thanks, Kim. And it wasn't quite in the middle, but that's okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, is it centered? No. I don't care. Well, that's, like I said, I call it a Patti card if it's not centered, so. Alright, so I'm just going to cut a tiny little piece off and heat emboss in white. Or, actually, maybe to make life easier, I'm just going to... Oh, I don't have any already cut. Ooh. I also have this piece that I had inked up a long time ago in, I think, Flirty Flamingo ink. Maybe I'll use that instead. I decided I want something lighter because I just want to stamp it in ink instead of grabbing out the heat embossing. And I might as well use scraps because then it's not just sitting here collecting dust. That's right, Danielle. Perfect is boring. And we talked about that at work the other day because I won't go into too much detail, but they're just talking about somebody's child, and it's just like, you know what, though? They're the most creative people, and I would think they would be very boring if everyone was just the same all the time. So, I personally believe sometimes, you know, you go, okay, things are a little outside the box, that's fine. Alright, so I am going to take our darkest purple ink, and I'm just going to ink up the stamp. And there's already some brown ink on it from back in the day. because I am horrible at cleaning my stamps. That's okay. I wanted this dark anyway, so it makes it a little bit brown. That's fine. And it's not. Stained stamps mean they've been loved. Okay, one more time. There we go. I like it. That's right, Kim. Use your scraps. Why am I hoarding them for no reason? I actually got rid of a whole bunch right at after Christmas, so it felt good. It needed to be done. Okay. This was actually I think I inked this with reinkers on with a brayer one time. And I keep going, I gotta go back and do those techniques because I like a solid, but this has little streaks of red and pink in it. It's pretty. I think I'm just going to use my trimmer and I'm just going to cut this out and make a little rectangle for the top there. And then we're calling it done. All right, and I think I got, yeah, don't we? Oh, do I want it in that corner? I want it in this corner. That's going to cover up some of my banner, but that's okay. Unless I put it up here. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So, oh no, silly. Oh well, it's going to cover up some of the banner. I still see some of it. Just add some glue to the back of this. If you didn't like that and you were like, oh no, it doesn't fit, then you could always go and put it on the inside of your card instead. But since I didn't have time to decorate the inside right now, I'm just going to put it up here in the corner. Because my frame isn't quite in there. Probably just gonna need a little block to put it on. Oh, where's all my blocks? Well, so much for that idea. I'll just hold it down for a second. Alright, the one thing I didn't use today that I thought I was going to was the texture paste sparkle, but that's okay. So, thanks, Kim. I got it done before Lisa's live, so I'm happy. And I think it turned out cute. Not quite how I pictured it, but that's okay. I have puppies on a card. That makes me happy. And it's pink and purple. That makes me happy. Thanks, Mary Pat. I appreciate you sticking around, and thanks for, again, the tip. I think the frame looks kind of cool. It's got a very tie-dye look, which I like. So, you'll have to try it, and let me know if you do. Alright, girls, and anybody else watching. This will be posted on YouTube tonight, hopefully, if I can figure this out. So you can catch the replay on there, and catch the Crafty Chaos on some of my other videos. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the Patti. We have one more video with Delise coming up, and I believe she's using Flaky Friends. So you want to go grab your Flaky Friends stamp set and play along with her. She's a lot of fun. I think you guys should go and watch her videos. She's a big goofball, which I love. I love watching Delisa's videos, so I'll probably be there chatting with her while I'm trying to upload videos. Don't forget to put those things, put your cards in the challenge. If you played along with me, you have all 4 challenges on, well, maybe not all 4 if you already used these stamp sets here, but I didn't use these party hats before. I didn't use these cupcakes before, the noisemaker, so I got all 4 challenges on this one card, so, which I love doing. And I'll take a photo and show hopefully the sparkle off a little bit more on here, and we will talk to you later. Have a lovely Saturday.